Hello, my name is Sam DeStefano, and today I'm going to talk about Henry Ford and his invention of the assembly line and also the creation of Ford Motor Company. So Henry Ford was born in 1863 in Michigan, where he worked on his parents' farm. Here he did stuff such as labor and work in the fields and get their crops ready. It was also noted by PBS that at a young age he was seen as a innovator because any toys he would get or watches he'd have, he'd take apart and put them back together, and they saw this at a young age from him. And at the age of 13, he left Michigan and went to Indiana to work as a steam engine specialist. And here he began to learn how many of these parts operate and began to develop a great interest in like the engineering world and other departments such as this area. So he became an engineer at the Edison Illuminating Company, and was Thomas Edison's company where they engineered and created lights to go into many buildings, businesses, and homes. And this was a major portion of the late 1800s that served a great deal of business to many customers. And eyewitness history holds it that this is where meeting Edison and learning how to do this stuff really affected his career choices. And so while he was at Thomas Edison Company, he invented the automobile, his first automobile, which was a 26 horsepower four-seater automobile. And many of investors saw that during this time, this is somebody we should put our money behind because he can truly have an innovative idea that might be legendary. And this led to him deciding to create the Ford Motor Company. And here he had investors such as the Dodge brothers and others who saw his potential and wanted to get behind him and get in on some of the money that he could make. And it was noted on Ford's website that during this time, he created the Model T, which was the first automobile from Henry Ford, and this was the first car that had a left steering wheel and could seat 4 people, and it sold for $825 back in the day. And Car and Driver has it at $825, which may be worth somewhere around $21,000 to $22,000 today. And then during the process, he thought, I could do this whole process way faster because it was currently taking them about 12 hours to 2 days to create a car. And then this is where the idea of the assembly line came, where he thought putting all these moving parts together in order down a line would take off a lot of the time in between jobs. And so he built these cars in intervals, adding these new parts, and he turned the lag time from 12 hours to 2 days into 2.5 hours, according to History.com. So the first assembly line could actually get a Model T automobile done in 2.5 hours as opposed to 12 hours. So this was revolutionary in what it could do for the creation of automobiles. And so we're going to look at this visual right here, and this shows the process flow diagram for a motorcycle, just to kind of give you an example of what the assembly line is. And as you can see, it starts with the frame, and it goes to like the machining and the paint, and then all the parts that go into it, including the oil tank work cell, the shocks and forks, the handlebars, air cleaners, fluid and mufflers, fuel tank work cell, and it shows how one after the other all these parts are added to make the motorcycle function. So the same thing goes for a car. They start with the frame and then they add on everything that needs to be added on, and then you eventually come out with the final product, which is a full functioning running car. So I think it goes without saying that Henry Ford was one of the most innovative individuals of the time with this creation of the assembly line. Not only do car companies use it now, but also companies such as Apple, who they use that to create iPhones and MacBooks, and pretty much any company within the industry uses the assembly line to make products that all of us use this day. Thank you. I have to show y'all. Chris.